Greetings and welcome to NECAT's member meeting for Thursday, June 13th, 2024. I'll be your host, Cameron McCaslin. With me on the panel tonight is Jenny Ellis. She'll be presenting a little bit later. And also, everyone here knows Eric and Sam. We want to thank all of our live audience here tonight, all of our NECAT members who have come to join us and talk about their shows and have their questions answered. We also want to make welcome of all of our new members in the year 2024. We have 44 new members who have been added to NECAT since the start of the year. So a big round of applause to them. Thank you. Also, on behalf of Nashville Public Library, we want to invite everyone to participate in NPL's summer reading series that's happening right now through the end of July. You can find out more information on the NPL website. They have a lot of great books about television and filmmaking. I encourage you all to get a library card, go out there and do some education on your own on that. Let's see here. We also want to congratulate Eric Lowy, who's with us in the back of the booth. Eric has been promoted to Technical Specialist 1 here at NECAT. Big round of applause to him. He'll be taking on some special projects and installations here at the studio, as well as working with other parts of Nashville Public Library on just some build-ups in their video stuff. So that's going to be great. Next up, we want to show you a little clip of something. We have a brand new documentary coming out later this year called It's All Connected, The Art of Sustainability. This is something that we worked on in-house here at NECAT. People from Nashville Public Library Sustainability Committee put a lot of work into this, as well as we've had some members who have been participating in this, adding footage and things like that. So we're going to bring the lights down real quick and show you this trailer.
Rubbish,
straws,
detritus, a landfill.
Oscar the Grouch.
The library is the starting point of sustainability.
The Nashville Public Library certified all 20 plus locations of the system as labs of learning about sustainable practice.
The library is the only space in the city where you can walk in, quench your mind, and walk back out for free.
You can try items out before you buy something.
We have the repair fair, and we saved like 100 or 200 pounds of material from going in the landfill.
We're conducting activities like trash pickup.
They can go right across the way right there to Edge Hill Branch Library and check out some seeds.
The Cumberland River watershed supplies water to 3 million people.
To be good stewards of our resources, we need to be good stewards of how we have used any resource already, but it's all connected.
We know fast food's not good for us. It's not the best thing health-wise, but yet it's so easy to grab that burger.
The ingredients is in our food. Some of these ingredients are banned in other countries for a reason.
If you eat a local tomato versus a store-bought tomato that traveled hundreds of miles, there's no comparison.
Food waste and organic waste is about 1/3 of what Nashvilleian residents throw into their trash and garbage. All of that material can be composted.
This all gets tied to transportation.
Our goal is to make sure that people could live in Nashville without having to have a vehicle.
I believe in America, the kids got the answers to all of this. I believe the children are our future.
Most people want to be sustainable. They don't want to be wasteful.
And the nice thing about doing things for sustainability reasons is you're also doing them for economic reasons, and you're doing them for practical reasons.
Sustainability is all about balance.
Sustainability to me just means trying to take care of the planet.
So that's a fully documentary. It'll be coming out later this year. You'll get some more information. There'll be a premiere somewhere here in town, and we'll let everybody know. We'd love to have all of our NECAT members out to just enjoy the screening. Moving on from there, we want to talk about some things that have been going on in the studio, just kind of give you guys some numbers on things. When we talk about studio bookings, we've had over 130 member-produced sessions in 2024. That's 130 different times that members have come in and booked the studio and made something in this space this year. We've had 1,345 unique visits. That's that check-in on the kiosk. Can I get a show of hands? Who checked in tonight on the kiosk or through the QR code? If you didn't, be sure to do that before you leave tonight. That really does help us show usage in this place, helps us get our funding and let people know that, this place is being well loved. We had 317 new episodes of television. So that's 317 episodes of things that you and your other producers are making here in town, ongoing shows, different episodes, so things like that you can watch on all three of our channels across town. And in this last quarter alone, we've had 7 brand new member-produced shows pop up. Now, what this is, these are brand new shows, stuff that has been taped and aired in the last quarter. And we want to give a shout out to all those people. We had Patricia Leonard, who did High Hills Cabaret. Patricia's in the audience. Say hello. Okay. We had Donna Caldwell with Bless Your Heart. Say they started taping last year. We've had a couple episodes that have started airing. And I want to note with both of them, they came through Women in Film and Television, a special program we did almost 2 years ago. And we've showed a lot of fruit from that, people that have come in and made shows. But those are two of the great shows coming out of that. Bam Ely with the Sit-In Mixtape, which is just wonderful. It was basically a musical about the civil rights sit-ins in Nashville back in the 1960s. Philanda Anderson with Bully Me Not. We had Josh Marinko and Pal Shadows with the Going In Show, Scott Ware with the Parents Right Network, and Mateus Colorado with the Santistico Show. So we want to congratulate all those producers who, again, have been able to tape and get that stuff on the air. I know we've had some very recently who have taped new shows that they're just putting them together and getting them out. So next quarter we'll let people know all those new shows. So we really encourage you not only come in and make them, but get them back to us so we can let people know to watch them. You may have noticed when you walked in tonight, to your right, there's some new art in the lobby hanging up, and that is all courtesy of Friends Life. Friends Life is a group of adults with cognitive disabilities that have been joining us here at NECAT for about the last year and a half, and they have been making different things inside of our TV studio. We've been able to teach them a TV program, and they also are just real big on sharing their different forms of art. So we've got a little documentary clip we want to show of them real quick, just kind of to let you know what they're all about. So let's roll that real quick.
You know, Nashville Public Library has given NECAT this unique opportunity to have the studio space and really just kind of look at how could we be using it better to serve the community. And I think the Friends are kind of right at the forefront of a better version of NECAT.
When I think about an organization that is doing a good job with diversity, it would be hard for me to find an organization that does a better job than NECAT.
This place is truly another place for these friends to belong. And what I loved about what everyone did here at NECAT, Cameron and Eric and Sam just spent a lot of time like building relationships. And again, like we have relationships with a lot of partnerships out in the community, but you know, we did a lot of film stuff and we created a lot together, but we also spent a lot of time just getting to know each other. And I think that that is one of the most beautiful parts of being a part of the creative world. You know, as a creative, we all are seeking spaces to truly feel belonging, but also connection. And NECAT has done an amazing job of really honing in and embracing that element, which in my opinion, is the most important element.
We've had time to really get to know them. At the start of the day, we kind of go through, they tell us about their days and their weeks, their families, the things that, you know, that they care about. It's fun to listen to hear them say, here's the shows that I like to watch and here's the stuff that I like to make, and just kind of see how that has changed throughout the course of the year. We talked about framing and everybody's got their cameras up at this point, and we're talking about like how we can, really see the world through a different lens, and how the only thing that really matters when it comes to TV is what they're seeing through that frame. And I think that that's a pretty cool situation.
Everyone at NECAT has just been so accommodating, and I think the coolest thing is that everything we've done has been so dignified. It's been approached in a way that is very mature and very honest. I love that the friends come here and they feel safe. They can just run into the building and say, hey guys, like that is so wonderful to have places that we feel like home. And I think the friends have learned a lot about how to respect each other, not only on the set, but as artists.
NECAT has always prided itself as a place for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we just thought to ourselves, like, we've got to do better at this. We've got to find a way to make this learning opportunity work for them in the capacity that they want to do it in. So we really just kind of started breaking things down and having conversations about, like, what does it look like if we put people not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera? And we gave them the opportunity to produce and direct and learn how to use cameras and lighting and all the different things, and kind of piece by piece. So every couple of weeks when they would come to visit, we would stop, learn a little something new, and put it into practice.
That really is impactful work. And sometimes when we talk about impact, we just talk about quantity and how many people are being impacted, and that's real. Impact isn't always direct, so you may really impact 10 lives directly, or 15 or 20, however many come with friends' lives. And in that moment, I've seen joy brought to their faces. You know, I think gratitude is a word that it has filled me with.
Such a cool experience for all of us at NECAT to have them here in the studio. If ever you are happen to be crossing paths with them as they're coming in or out, be sure to check out the things. And we're airing these shows on NECAT, so if you're watching it, watch some of the things they're making. It's some really incredible stuff. Moving down the line here, we want to talk a little bit about renewal emails, automations, and payments. So you may have noticed that sometimes you get emails from us. We want to remind you that there are some automated emails that go out. We were having a problem where sometimes they were doubling up, and we were also having a problem with the surveys where like it would send out the survey thing, but then the link wouldn't work and you couldn't fill it out. That's all been resolved, but I want to thank all the people who sent us the thing saying like, hey, we tried to do this and it didn't work. If ever you get an email and it doesn't make sense, feel free to reach out to us. But know that unless it's signed by someone that here that works in the building, it's probably an automated message. And Sam actually went in recently and put a note on the bottom of most of those saying it's an automated email, so you can tell the difference if it's something that's coming, all the time. Again, when it talks about payments, we want to remind everyone to renew their memberships if you haven't. That was another thing that kind of got messed up in that whole process. Is there was a couple of amount of time where not everybody got their renewal notices. So you may have lapsed without even knowing because you didn't get a reminder. So we're encouraging everyone just to check in with us, let us know, or we'll let you know again. But whenever you book the studio, if you don't see your name or you can't book it, that's probably the reason why. We can get you renewed and make sure that you're taken care of there. They have moved since we've become part of NPL. We're only doing things with credit and debit cards now. We're no longer taking checks or cash the way that we had in the past. So just be aware of that. If that's a problem for anybody, you can come talk to me and we'll try to find a workaround for you. But it's all being done at this point through card services. Again, I mentioned the member surveys already. That's a thing that if you don't fill them out, every time you come in and you produce something here in the studio, you're going to get an email saying like, hey, did you have a good time? Did everything go the way that you want it to? Was there anyone at the studio that that you want to point out? That does a lot of good for me, especially whenever I see that, because if you come in here as part of the day when I'm not here, come on a day that I'm not around, that's the one thing I can look at and say like, oh, I see that the show is made. I can ask the rest of the staff kind of how things were going. We could get a real good feel for it. If something didn't work, if you showed up and you're like, oh yeah, I got there, but we couldn't, one of the microphones was broken. It's a good way to put that on there just so it helps make me aware of it. And we can also shout out whenever people are doing a good job. And I know that Sam and Eric and all the crew that works here does that. So please fill those out when you get them. More information is always better. I want to remind everyone that NECAT will be closed Wednesday, June 19th through June 10th. However, you can watch us on the air. We will be broadcasting live from Fort Negley that day, the same way we have for the last 3 years. So we want you to tune in and watch that as we celebrate the Juneteenth fireworks that evening. But we won't be here at the studio. Same thing for July the 4th. We will not be here that day. So if you stop by to say hello, we won't be here to do that. At this point, though, I'm going to turn it over to Jenny Ellis from NPL. She's going to show off our new website, and she'll tell you more about that.
All right. Has anybody used the website in the last month? Yeah, so you might not notice changes. So this might be real easy. You might think, great. Where is the website? There it is. This is the old one, previous one. So our goal with the website was it hadn't been updated in a long time and had some security issues because we hadn't been maintaining it. So when we took it over, basically this was bring it up to 2024, install security patches, and reorganize some stuff, but mostly leave it so you wouldn't notice that there was a giant change. Because it was organized pretty well. There were just a couple issues we were trying to iron out. And so if you haven't, this is the old site. You've got your home, your about, which has like contact information, all your member information, how to get involved, channels, that sort of thing. The new site looks really similar, but hopefully just polished up a little bit, a little shinier. And the navigation is basically the same. You've got your Watch TV that has all the channels and the shows that I'll come back to in a second. Your member information is still all here, where you can submit a show and request equipment, find technical support. Classes, if you want to take classes, we did figure out if anybody used the new online sign up for classes yet. No? Okay, well, if you want to sign up for a class, you can do it online now without having to call or email. Yeah, that's exciting, right? So you can view a whole calendar of classes. And here's a list of all the classes that are available right now. You can filter them over here if you want to just look for all the audio classes or all the green screen classes over here on the kind of behind Cameron's head. I don't have a laser pointer. I'm like circling with my pointer. If you want to know if there's one, you can pull up a calendar view of classes now. So if you want to find one in July, let me click on July. It's a little persnickety and weird calendar, but it's still a calendar view of classes. So I hope that'll be a little bit more useful than the old list. So that's exciting to me that you can sign up online for classes. And ways to join. But a couple of things I wanted to point out that are new and different are the class sign up. You're submitting a show, the form you fill out to submit a show, that's pretty much the same. But for the PDFs, you used to kind of have to download them and fill them out by hand and then somehow scan them and send them back. Does that sound familiar? You can type in them now. So if you pull up the website and here are all the forms under submit a show, we have every form listed that you'll need. I just kind of highlighted them here. If you open up a form, you can type in here now and do what is the 01, 04, 2024 or whatever. Obviously that's not the right date, but
that's a big win for you guys. I feel like not having to print and handwrite everything out. So
cool.
A lot of good work on that.
So hopefully you'll be able to fill those out pretty easily, save them to your desktop, and then not email them back, but I guess let's see. When you submit an episode, this giant button down here, it goes to the same form. When I looked at the form, oh wow, that's new to me. I didn't know it was purple now. That's different. Okay, we all get surprised. But it used to be on the page and you'd have to scroll right and left, which drove me nuts because it was about 2 weeks before I realized there was another half of the form. So now it opens up in a new window. You don't have any weird scrolling issues, and you can attach your forms. How do they send you forms? I have to look at the page.
A lot of times they print them out and bring them by, or they do email them to us. But again, you can fill them out and do it that way. But pretty simple now to fill them out.
Right. So I hope the show form submission is a lot easier. That was one thing that we worked quite a bit on. Another thing that I wanted to point out was the forms and instructions. All this stuff is under members. Submitting a show, information about the PEG Studio, equipment checkout, which I'll show in just a second, forms and instructions. We've redone all of these forms also. I'm going to zoom in because this is like the tiniest resolution in the world. We've redone all these so they're hopefully a little bit easier to read, and I especially redid this flow chart for your music licensing. So hopefully it'll be a little bit easier to print out, and it's still the same flow chart. We just kind of tried to tidy everything up and tighten everything up to make it polished and 2024ish. Equipment checkout, I'll show you real fast because this drove me nuts. I don't like it in 2024 when I go on a website and they're like, send me an email and please include all of this stuff. I'm like, just let me fill out a form because I am lazy and I have a bad memory. So if you want to check out equipment now, you can go to equipment, checkout, and this is a fun thing. You can either request specific equipment or you can ask them to build you a kit because sometimes you know what you want to do, but you don't know what equipment you need. And so that was a new idea they had of just requesting a kit. So this now opens up a form where you can fill out your name and your email and check a box on what you want. And I hope this will just make it a little bit smoother for asking for the stuff that you do. So it's basically the same, just a little bit easier, which is what we were going for this update.
Yeah, and the kit build is such a great idea in the sense that, like, if you're going downtown and you want to do a man on the street and talk to people, it's like you may need one setup, or if you're going to shoot a short film over the weekend, you may need a different set of things. If it's like if you're doing an interview, you need lapels, that's a different thing. So whatever, if you tell us a little bit about what you're making, it helps us build the thing that you need, where you don't have more gear that you're not going to use, so they can go to your fellow members, but also you're going to get the best version of what you need for the type of thing that you're trying to make. Cool. So yeah.
Let's see. The other thing, this is experimental, but when we came and talked to everybody last year, I guess, one of the things that we heard the most was it'd be really nice if I could see a list of all the shows that are made at NECAT. Nobody could figure out a list don't get too excited yet because it's a little bit wonky, but it's there and I want to show it to you. So if you go on here in the main menu under Watch TV, we still have links to all the channels like we've always had. Those haven't changed. But there's a new link called Shows. And it opens up a big caveat at the top where we're like, this is experimental. But it lists all of the shows. It's just title right now. We'd like to pretty this up. We just don't have money to do it at the moment. But we'd like to be able to show a picture and list some more information. But at least there is a list of all the shows that are in NECAT, and we're still tidying it up. But it is a list that didn't exist before. And some of your shows, I was looking to see if any of these new ones have made it on the site yet. And here is High Heels Cabaret. So it's hanging out right there, and you've already got Bless Your Heart is up, and Bully Me Not. And so all these, you should click on an episode, and it'll take you, some of them have playing ability, and some of them don't. There we go. Some of them will show you a video where you can watch the episode right online. Some of them don't, so it's wonky. And I'd love feedback about it, because we are hopefully going to improve this at some point. And so if you do use this feature, and you're like, man, I wish it did this. One of the things when you were talking about the friends that come, you're like, look at their shows. I'm like, well, how would I find their shows? What are the names of their shows? And this site does have a search box now, which I don't think the other one had. So that's a new thing also up in the upper. It's really pale. You can barely see it. This area up here in the upper right-hand corner, I wish I had a laser pointer. There is a search box now. So if I typed Friends here, which is what I tried, I get Friends Life Holiday, but that's the only one.
Yeah.
Is that the only one there is?
No, there's some more stuff,
Yeah.
and I don't know how we have it labeled. So that's again one of the things we just have to work through.
Yeah.
I encourage everyone here, look at the website, send us emails if you see something that you're like, hey, this might work, and we'll forward them on and make the best version of it we can as we move forward.
I especially want to hear things like I heard about this and I wanted to find it, and I did a search and we couldn't find it. So that, or like, I was really interested if I wanted to see those Friends episodes, where would I go find them? And I think that's the kind of question that a lot of people have, because you either can look on the schedule and see what's playing next, but if you want to know that particular episode, or that particular show, it's kind of hard to find that information. So we're trying to make that a little bit easier. So this is a pretty exciting experimental thing we've got on the site, which is new, and I hope y'all will play with it. And I don't really have a lot else. I mean, the rest of it's like there's contact information. The contact information is the same as it always was, but it's there. In the upper right-hand corner, you still have the form to go to the help desk. So none of the forms you're using have changed. It's just all a little bit polished and a little bit easier to use, I hope. But if there is anything where you can't find something, we made it worse on accident, please, please, please reach out to these guys and they'll forward it on. If you want to reach out to me, I'll give you my name too. That's fine. But we really want to hear feedback, because our goal is to make it easier to use.
Yeah, and this will be a great way for you to point people to your shows.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like we want them to watch television, obviously, but it's, TV has changed so much from the idea of like, oh, we have to be home at 7:00 because the show is coming on. People want to see things on demand. The website's going to allow for that to happen. They can come and just watch it, do whatever they want to watch it. You have to opt into that whenever you're submitting your show. You have to click that little box saying that it's okay to show it online, because again, you're the producers, you own your show. We want to make sure that that's possible. But if you want it there, we'll make sure that it gets up on the website eventually. So yeah. Thank you.
That's what I got.
Awesome. So we got Eric is going to come join us here on the stage here in a second. He's going to show off some things. You may notice we've got some new tech he's going to talk about real quick, and then also walk us through our upcoming classes that are coming up at NECAT. And a lot of people in this room, of course, have been through their production classes, but we encourage you all to find other people. Send people that you know that you think might be good at making a TV show, or that you want to have them come work on your TV show. Get them in that first production class. Let them try it on and see how it goes. But I'll turn it over to Eric, and he'll tell you more about it.
Awesome. Sam, can you hear me in there? I'm actually not going to talk about our tech stuff. Sam is actually going to come up and talk about that. But I want to talk first about our upcoming classes. We have Production 1 coming up here soon. We got a bunch of these coming up. August 3rd, September 7th, October 12th, November 2nd, and December 7th. So those are all on the first Saturday of the month, except for October. Production 2, we have July 11th and 12th, September 26th and 27th, and November is it 21st and 22nd? Yeah. No, we moved that, didn't
We just moved that today to a week ahead of time, and I didn't change it on
Nope.
the form you're reading.
It's
1 week before.
1 week before. But if you go online, it is up there. Production, and then we have our editing class. Our editing class for tomorrow or for Saturday is booked. We are completely booked up. Unfortunately, we only have 4 computers that we can operate with. If you want to take that class, we do have a workaround. If you have a laptop or something that can run Premiere, we can get you into the class. It's just the first people to sign up get those first 4 computers, and then after that, that's what we go to. But we have another class coming up September 14th and then December 14th. Those are Saturdays. Those will run from 11 a.m. to about 6 p.m. Awesome. And then the last class I'm going to talk about is green screen and lighting. We have 2 more of those coming up, July 14th and October 13th. That's for learning how to, learning all the different lighting equipment that we have in the studio, how to do a basic 5-point lighting setup, and then what everybody always asks is how to do green screening. That is a huge question we get quite often. All right. Enough about classes. We do have some new stuff here in the studio. We've been working diligently with Metro Purchasing to start getting stuff in. It's been a slow-going process, but we're finally getting it done. One of the big things that we did is we are busting at the seams, and so we are working on storage. So back in our cages, we have installed a bunch of new shelving units, and we bought new milk crates to store all of our gear in. We've started on one cage. We're going to move to the second cage, and then in all the prop storage area, we're going to actually put some storage out there to just better organize all of that stuff and make it a lot easier. And we're going to start looking at getting rid of any furniture that's not being used, that's taking up space. So if there's anything that is crucial to your show, please let us know, and we will be, make sure that that's not on the list of things that we're going to be getting rid of. So yeah, we also got new whiteboards. I know, high tech, but they're cool. They're on wheels and they can be rolled around. So if you have a show where you want to, be drawn on a whiteboard or something, you have that. If you need to put signage, for people coming in to the building, you can do that. Whatever you want to do, or you want to write stuff out and just need a place to, dump your brain to. You got that for whatever you need it to do. And then last thing is, I just want to remind everybody, when you come into the studio, please make sure to bring your hard drives. Space is a commodity in the cyber world as well as the physical world. So we are only keeping shows for about 2 weeks that are being recorded. After 2 weeks, we start clearing things out. So please bring your hard drives in to make sure to get those. If you're having an issue, please let us know, but just make sure to bring your hard drives in. And then as soon as you get home, check your footage. Check your footage as soon as you get home. And that, I think, is it for my part.
Yeah, so we'll welcome Sam up here in a second. I'll echo, thank you, Eric. I'll echo what Eric said. It's like when it comes to your hard drives, it's like make sure that you're not only bringing your hard drives, leave time at the end of your day to make sure that you can get that footage, or make sure that you can leave that hard drive with us overnight. That way we can do that, and then you have time to come pick it up in the next day or two afterwards, and that you can secure that footage and make sure it's all there. We don't want anyone to lose their shows or miss footage or anything like that. So it's so important, because if we know in the moment, we can go back, double check, make sure it's all there, but we really do have to clear it off pretty quick. So let's welcome Sam to the stage, though. She's going to tell us a little bit about the rest of the stuff we've got going on here.
Hello. How is everybody? Okay, so I am here to talk about the audio class, I believe. I don't know if we have a slide for that. We have one audio class left of the year. It is August 17th. Pretty sure. Is it August 17th or August 18th?
August 17th.
17th.
Yep.
And then November 16th. So in the audio class, that's going to be on a Sunday. We go from about 1 p.m. to whenever we end, usually around 8 or 9. That is really good. We talk about the basics of sound, how your ear works. We kind of get into some nerdy stuff there. And then we pull out the drum kit. I pull out a bunch of different mics and teach you about some different mics. Then we mic a drum kit, and I show you all those different techniques. We'll talk about how to mic a bunch of different instruments, and have fun with that. And then we do go in the back, and I will show you how to get signal on all of those different mics on the board, and then I'll show you how you could do a simple recording to Pro Tools, how you would get those files afterwards. And then sometimes we just listen to music that might have really fun effects, because I like to nerd out about that. You don't have to stay for that part, it's fine, but we like to do that. So yeah, those are our 2 dates for the rest of the year. And then I am doing the demo. We've been talking about these for a very long time, and it's finally happened. So we don't have the new cameras quite yet. We will be getting them soon. If you have rented gear from us before, you may have rented our Panasonics. It's going to be those exact cameras. So whether you're shooting here or whether you're shooting outside, you will be using kind of the same equipment. So that'll make that a little bit easier for you. We'll be getting those soon. Right now we're still with our old cameras. But this is the new teleprompter. So as you can see, you now have 2 options rather than just one camera having one timer teleprompter option. Currently this is only on this camera. The other 2 don't have them yet, but we have all the equipment. We just have to put it on there. So all 3 cameras are going to have this setup. You could do timer teleprompter here and this down here. Currently it's set as timer and confidence monitor, but you have 2 options that you can choose between timer teleprompter, confidence monitor for any of those. And that can be a confidence monitor specifically for your shot. If this is the shot that's, if we had this camera on Cameron and he wanted to just be able to see himself, you could do that. You could have it set to program so they can actually see what's being switched. Whatever works for you. And you can have that on all 3 cameras. So yeah, I think that's all I have.
Yeah, thank you, Sam.
Okay.
Sam's going to join us up here. I want to hand the mic over first. Mr. Andy Van Root, are you in the room with us? Hey, Andy. Why don't you, Sam, hand Andy the mic here. Andy's got some information he wanted to share. Of course, if you don't know Andy, he runs FilmCom here in Nashville every year. He's got some great opportunities for NECAP members that I want to give him a chance at first to kind of let you know what that is, and then you can talk to him at your leisure through email or later tonight if he's still around. But Andy, it's all yours.
Thank you, Cameron. I'm just basically a troublemaker in this community, as some people in the room know, including Patricia and the big fella. I don't see him today, or Larry Underwood. And Cameron knows I'm a troublemaker as well. I was very intrigued by the list that you had because it showed all the shows that are going.
Oh.
How many programs are there going right now?
Gosh, top of head, I don't know. Several hundred at this point that we have had that are still active throughout the years.
Are they unique programs with unique producers?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's interesting. The reason I'm here is when I first came to Nashville, it was in 1994. I came here from Los Angeles and began working with the National Film Office at the time when we had one, and then would travel to LA for a Locations Expo or something called the American Film Market. And one side of that was recruiting projects to Nashville. The other side was developing projects like all of you are creating. So on the development side, which is really closer to my heart, I feel that the future of our town's independence is not really in recruiting big projects here, because what they do is they hire local crew, they bring a lot of keys, they're here for a few weeks, then they go back and they make all the money. All the revenues flow back to them. And we feel grateful because they've hired some of our people, but they go all the way back there. When a major project comes to town, they don't hire local directors, they don't hire local writers, they don't hire local producers, they don't hire local editors. So the key to our future and our independence is really in developing our own programming, our own content, and finding ways to develop that to a higher degree, promote that, and where possible, bridge that to wider distribution and possible financing and things like that. So some people know that when I first came to town, I was president of the Nashville Film Video Association. Then I founded Film Nashville, and I was the first producer of the Nashville 48-Hour Film Project, which I think some of you have participated in. But I brought that to Nashville in 2003. That tells you how old I am, and even more tired. Since then, as Cameron was saying, I started FilmCom in 2010, and that is a vehicle where we fly in executives from Los Angeles and New York that are involved in financing, packaging, and distribution of projects. So the idea there is to fly these in. We brought in 300 thus far to meet with creators of over 700 projects. Some of those projects are from out of state and have come in from other continents, including Europe and Australia and places like that. However, the ultimate point of all that is to basically provide a platform to launch our local programming. Henceforth, the conversation that Cameron and I have had, and a little bit with Shauna Lynn, is to basically find a way to, first of all, find ways to have the general community around here find out about all your programming. Because you know what? I've been here for 30 years and I don't know about it. And I'm in the industry. So I know that you all know about it, and I know that there are people that you know with your email list that know about what you're doing, and people that you involve in your programming. But I think with all the effort that Cameron and all of you are doing and the entire crew, it would be great if the local film industry here knew about it and might want to get involved with that on the financing side, on the co-production side, on the distribution side, to help you launch your programming to a much higher degree. Pursuant to that, what would be very helpful is that we also put out, accumulated over the decades, an email list of about 3,700 in the film industry, film television industry, film television streaming industry. And we can begin to help promote each of your programs. So that's why when I'm seeing, however many programs you got, that's a staggering number.
Counted, it's over 250.
Pardon?
Counted, it's over 250.
Okay, well that's amazing. And are they like one-offs or are they like series?
Most of them are series, but some of them will be one-offs.
Okay, so that's a staggering number. I'm amazed at what gets done here and what gets accomplished, which I think is pretty amazing. I hope that our mayor and city council know that and continue to know that. But what I would like to help do with the mailing list I've got and all the platforms I've got is to try to, on a weekly basis, we send out a weekly e-bulletin to the list of 3,700 to begin to promote it within our industry, all of your programs. And I can give you my email address, but Cameron has it, and so does Big Fella, so does Shauna Lynn. If you can, send me, just like a paragraph or two on your program and when it's running, and then I will begin to promote it. The last thing I'll say, because Cameron told me I had a very limited time span here, is to say that also on our list are like the news stations. So 257, and we know folks at WPLN and the Scene and the Tennessean, Brad Schmidt, et cetera. We can then help if you got like specials or things like that that are really interesting. We might be able to help then get sort of like public exposure on one or more of our local networks, So the whole goal here is to promote it within the industry, what you're doing, for possible co-production, and then to basically make the general public much more aware of all the great work that's going on here. And then maybe the mayor's office and everybody else involved and the cable network will end up providing more support because they're going to hear so much more about what you're all doing here. That's a fantastic thing, the amount of programs you have. I would just like to have a link to that.
We can definitely get you that.
Send me a link to that, and I will say, this is all the stuff that NECAT is doing. Wake up and smell the programming.
And Andy, for the people that are watching at home, what is that email address they can contact you if they want to find more information?
If you lose this, contact Cameron, but it's film.television@gmail. Could not be simpler. Film.television@gmail, and that's all. So I think so the major platforms then are getting the local industry knowing about what you're doing for possible partnerships for a higher level, and then getting the local news media aware of what you're doing when there's greater programming, and then seeing if we can form bridges like we have with FilmCom to greater distribution for key programming. Some programming may be like locally based only. Some of it may be able to translate to wider markets around Tennessee or around the country or around the world. Like Big, has a cooking program. If he does, like world cooking, that's something that could be distributed around the planet. So only you know what you got or what you can possibly develop. without further ado, I'll just get off the stage and hook myself off. I'm sorry I talked so long.
No worries.
And if there are any questions, just email me because I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Sure.
Okay.
Big round of applause for Andy, everybody. It really is I look forward to getting that email every week. I know we all get a lot of email, and we all don't read every newsletter that comes through, but it is a really great opportunity to be able to kind of see what's going on in town, to see what all of your fellow filmmakers are making, and again, to go support them whenever they have live events and things like that. It kind of lets you know, hey, they're doing a screening over here, they're doing a filming over here. Just help support, and lift the whole community up, which is what we're trying to do all the time.
Thank you. I know that, Cameron. So if you do contact me, then I will put you on our e-bulletin email list as well. So you'll see everything that Cameron was talking about. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much.
Well, fantastic. Well, at this point, we want to open it up to our members. So we've got people in the audience tonight. We want to give you the opportunity to join us at the microphone, ask any questions that you might have of the panel about any of the equipment or things that are going on in the studio, or just talk about your shows or things that you need for your programs, so we can take it back to all the powers that be and see what we can do to help you out. Does anyone want to kick us off tonight? Go ahead. Just step to the microphone right here. And just be sure to introduce yourself and tell us the name of your program.
All right. My name is Mario Coleman. A couple years ago, I actually used to work here. I used to be an instructor here. And so that being said, I've been coming backwards and forward. So one of the questions I had was on the site, you have that icon where you click it and it has all the shows. On Roku, you have a TV app there as well. So are you going to do something like that on that particular platform where you can click that icon and then go and then see the different shows? And
we have been talking for the last couple of years since we joined National Public Library about what the future of our streaming service is going to look like. When the Roku was put together, if anyone remembers John Ferguson, he's the one who kind of built that out 8 or 9 years ago, and it's kind of stayed stagnant.
Yeah.
There's, of course, there's a large price tag to doing any kind of new build out with that. So we're kind of at the mercy of, we are living with what we have because we can't afford to do anything more.
Okay.
But it is definitely something that is being talked about as we move into the future of what that looks like. As with everything, it's just money and time. And so, it's like we're looking for grant money all the time. We're looking for different ways we can go about it. But it's just, I wish I had a better answer for you.
No,
but like,
it's cool.
for the time being, it is what it is, but it still works. So we let it work. But we always want it to be better and have a version of it where people can get to the shows easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I do a lot. Thank you, Sam. I do a lot of work. I do most of my shows. My show is called The Ville, and it promotes independent talent. So we're doing contemporary gospel, jazz, R&B, and spoken word. And we do a lot of green screen work. So I was wondering, are you going to be getting in more lighting as far as that goes?
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Like floor lights.
Specific for lighting, I don't know that we have a whole lot of new coming in.
Right.
What we have done in the past year is we've committed to repainting
right
every piece. Like, it used to be like we painted it once and then it didn't get touched for years at a time.
Yeah.
We're trying now to like retouch it so you get a cleaner green screen all the way around. And I feel like with the green screen that we have, it works pretty well, though we still have some workarounds because there are some lights that we have, like LED panel lights and things like that we check out to the public. But we can bring them in to use on green screen if there's something specific that's not working. But I encourage everyone, if you haven't taken the green screen class, jump in on that. Learn from that and work with Sam and Eric. It's like if you can't get it to go, let them help you. Get to where you're trying to get.
Well, what I do is I bring in my own lights and stuff like that, and then I kind of set it up so I have background lighting, forward lighting, and then I'll use the stuff. So my show is called The Ville. So when you see it, everything is pretty much, unless we're doing live performance over here, everything is done right there on the green screen. So I go ahead, light it, and then drop the graphics in and then key it out from there. I work in Adobe Premiere, so that's what I do. But I was just curious about what they're going to do as far as lighting goes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Questions? I know you guys have shows to talk about, things that you're making. You wanted to step to the mic and talk a little bit about that? And again, just introduce yourself to everybody and tell us what you're here for.
Hey there, I'm Greg Freeman. I'm brand new. I just took the class like last weekend.
Awesome.
So I don't have a show at this time. The question is everything I make here at the studio has to be for a show? I could not make it for any other purpose, or what's the guideline?
So the great thing is, I assume that you've signed up for production 2.
I did.
Okay, so in production 2, you're going to learn, we're going to walk you through the whole process of this and kind of what you can and can't do. But the basic answer is you own your show. So whatever you make here, you own it, and you can take it and do whatever you want with it. But the intention of the PEG Studios all across America, and NECAT especially, is whatever you make here is to air here. It's for the sake of airing on the show. Now, we do have some things like that where, like, we've had people that have shot movie scenes for a movie in this space, and they're like, hey, we don't want to put our movie on TV yet, so we'll find a way to, like, we'll also make a making of documentary at the same time, and so we'll have something to air that was being produced at the same time. So there's workarounds for all those kind of things. The big thing is just, like, tell us what you're trying to do and tell us what your intentions are, and we will help you find a way to make the things that you want to make.
I'm not ready to tell you that at
Sure.
this time, but yes, I wanted to ask. I'll take the class.
Yeah, production 2, like I say, we'll walk you through all that and get you to where you're going for sure. Somebody else. Welcome.
Okay, I'm Julia, and we do a show here, me and my friend Jenny, and it's called Grow, and it's basically on plants and mindfulness, and we do a lot of plant projects with our guests. But my question was actually about the forms. So now that they're like online, like when we send them to our guests, or like the people who we're interviewing, can they like fill it out and digitally sign it and then email it back to you guys, or do they have to like download it, print it, manually sign it, and then send it back?
I think technically I can make it so you can digitally sign it. Legally, that's your question.
Yeah, you can definitely fill everything out. The digital signature, again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have an
True.
answer for you that I could say officially. What I would tell you for sure, though, is they wouldn't email it directly to me. Again, as the producer of your show, you're responsible for the show. We would want them to send it to you, and then you would send it all back to us to have on file. But we want to make sure it's all going through you. So how you go about that, I would say is up to you. But I couldn't answer that question as I'm not a legal professional.
I will say I have recently had to sign a document, and I was at my house. I don't have a printer, and I have an iPad and a phone basically, and it was, I need your signature on this thing, and the person informed me that I can save a PDF to my iPad and probably your phone, and you can sign it with your finger. So if you can maybe practice that, you can maybe guide people through how to just sign it, like they can fill the whole thing out and type on it and then sign it with their finger possibly.
Okay, because I'm having trouble with one of my guests, and the schedules have been off,
Sure.
and so I think now that you showed me on the website how you can just download it, I think I'm just gonna email it to her, just text her and just tell her print it out and just give it back to me, or mail it to me or something, then I'll get it to you guys.
Yeah.
All right,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you. Somebody else. We want to hear about what you're working on for sure, so at the very least, come tell us about your shows.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tanisha Douglas. I'm a nurse midwife by trade,
Wow.
so I deliver babies and do women's health care. But I want to produce a show called Don't Forget Your Pearls, which pearls is a metaphor for wisdom. And it's just a show that's a distribution center of wisdom for women from early adulthood through menopause. And we're going to just talk about all forms of wellness, mentally, spiritually, physically, because I'm also pretty active in ministry as well. So that's kind of what I want to do as far as my show. But I haven't started really yet. I've been through my production 1 and 2. So my next step, I guess, would be, I did it a few months ago, but then I had to wrap up some things. I need to come and probably talk to you.
Yeah.
How do I get on your schedule?
All you need to do is just shoot me an email. My email address is on the website, just Cameron.McCaslin@Nashville.gov, and just ask for a time. We'll find a day of the week where you can come by, and if you have problems where you can't come by during our normal hours, we'll do video chats and things like that. And what you're going to do is like basically just walk me through, hey, this is what the show is, this is what we're going to attempt to do. And I am not here to tell you yes or no. It's always a yes. What we're here to do is help guide you to make the best version of it, and kind of point out pitfalls that you may not see, and just kind of say like, hey, we had someone who made a show like this before. They had a problem getting this. You should look out for that. Or it's like, hey, there's someone who also makes a show at NECAT. You may want to go have a conversation with them because they're doing something similar, and maybe you could work together on something. And again, it's like not to say that you have to, but it just, we're kind of here to be eyes all over the place for you. But to do that, say just shoot me an email and say, hey, I'd like to meet with you the next couple weeks. Say, let me know kind of when you're available, and we'll make time for it.
Okay, and then I had one more question.
Sure.
I know space is tight, and
Absolutely.
so when thinking about my set, I would be fine. Like I may want to bring in some things for my set, but I'm fine if other people use them as long as they're here when I need them. But how does that work? Am I able to bring, if I want to supply things for my set?
Yeah, so we are tight on space, but like Eric said, we're trying to get rid of some of our older stuff, so hopefully we'll have a little bit more space soon. And yeah, if it's here, other people can use it. It's fine. But you can definitely leave it here. If that helps, that you don't have to drag it in every time if it's something specific that you want. So
Yeah, and I would say to that though, it's like whatever you're bringing in, give us like, don't show up with a room full of furniture.
Yeah.
And say I want to leave this all here. But if you let us know, like, hey, I've got a couch or I've got a this or that, it's like, and I want to leave it here forever, or I want to leave it here for a month or whatever it may be, we can work on that. But it's like, you'd be amazed because someone may be like, oh, I've got this car that I want to use on the set. Can I just park it in this garage and leave it here forever? No, you can't do that. But it's like, if you want to use it once, we'll find a way to make that work. So always just let us know what you've got. And again, a lot of times what we're going to ask for on anything big is measurements, because we have to make sure that we can fit it in the space that we have. Yeah. Next person, somebody.
Should I say again?
Yeah, come on. Absolutely.
I don't know if I have a question. This has been great, though, all the things that you've done. And I'd like to say Eric and Sam are fabulous. If you have any questions, of course, Cameron is too, but they're always here when you have a question to ask. And I've been so excited about that because, here's why. I came from corporate America as a coach, as a career coach and a consultant. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I love high heels. I wrote a book years ago, High-Heeled Shoes in a Flip-Flop World. And I said, I think I want to do something about high heels because they're all over my house. I don't even wear them that much. But it was something that was playful, and yet it fit with my coaching. And let me show you how. I've met a lot of people that want to do something. It's kind of like their soul is dying to express, and they don't know how to take that expression to the next level. My coaching helps them. I can say, what would you like to do? And let's talk about it. Now, as a producer, I'm not saying that I'm that good at that because I came in here very naive. I just like to jump in and do things. So I created this High Heels Cabaret, and it includes all kinds of variety shows, even some. I had one woman that had made a film. She's a music composer. And the thing that I loved about that, she wrote a song called, I forget the name of the song, but it was something about the bat wings, the flip.
Bingo wings.
Bingo wings. Who said that?
Me.
Thank you. Yes. And so yes, thank you, honey. But anyway, I said to her, I want you to do a comedy show. She said, I'm 60-some years old. I don't want to do comedy. Anyway, we sat down and we laughed so hard for 1 hour talking about that Bingo Wings song. She did that in one of my shows, and she said, I've got a new career now. I brought another artist in. You tell me when my time's up.
You're fine. Keep going.
Because you all know I love to talk. But anyway, this is what this does. This is what this program is about. And I brought another woman in that she's an artist.
and she works in Christian ministry. And I had known her through Women in Film and Television. So I called her one day and I said, I've got this epiphany, and that's dangerous. But anyway, I said, here's what I want you to do. I'd like for you to bring your easel, your paints, and a canvas. And I'd like for you to paint a heart, because the thing that kept going, what the world needs now is love. That kept going in my head, and I thought, okay, God, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to come up with something. So I said, I want you to create a heart, an open, just a abstract-like heart. So she did, and I said, but there's one more thing I'd like. She said, do you have the rights to that music? And I said, no. I said, but I got an idea. I want you to create a poem or a story about love is. And that's what it turned out to be. So she and a friend wrote a poem, and the friend read it, and this other woman, she didn't even talk to the audience. All she did was draw. And now I've got it, and it's named Bold Heart. That's what you have to have, is a bold heart. Just have the heart that of something you want and be bold enough to step out. And that's who I am and have been all my life. I don't know how to do this, and I'm learning, and I'm clumsy, and I'm falling, and but we get up there. Mario came to save me in one of my shows. He sang. So we're all in this together, and that's the thing I love. If you ever just want to try it, just get in here and try it, because somebody will help you. And Sam and Cameron and Eric, and then everybody that I met here. A lot of the people that are working on my show are people that I met at the last quarterly meeting. And they're helping me. And I've even gotten some here that I'm going to work on to get. But anyway, my name is Patricia Leonard, and I'm having a good time, and it's great. Oh, and I brought Sarah Tuck in back there. You're going to speak, I hope. She's got a production company in Kentucky. And I'm a networker. How about that?
Well, Sarah, come join us up here.
Yeah.
Let's hear about it.
Yeah, I want you to get up here.
You came all this way.
Yeah. No, come on up here. She's got some great ideas, and she's going to do something in one of my shows. We've already programmed it in. This is Sarah Tuck, and then I'll let you take it from here, because just introduce what you're doing. Oh, she came to one of my shows. She knows how awkward I am, but I just do it. Yeah. Okay, you take it from here.
Let's go up for Tricia, everybody. Just step your microphone right there.
Oh, okay. My name is Sarah Tuck. Hi, everyone. And I'm the writer and producer, director, assistant director of a movie. I made my first film last year, and it'll be coming out at the end of this year, probably around October. I'm also an author, and I write books. I write children books and adults books. So she wanted me on her show, and we'll be here July the 27th. No, the 28th, isn't it?
No, 27th.
The 27th. Okay, the 27th. Okay. Okay, the 27th will be here, and what it is, I'm having a play in the R&R Studios in Murfreesboro on July the 13th, and so we bring in a little portion of that on her show, and it's about a grandmother giving advice to her granddaughter. So if you don't have anything to do, please come out and join us. And I'm just here just to get information. I'm excited about joining, and that's basically
fantastic. We're happy to have you. Yes. We'll get you signed up for classes, get you involved, and we look forward to seeing what you make for TV.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. Anybody else want to join us? I know we got a couple people that are still in the audience that haven't spoke. I know you came all the way out to the member meeting. If you have a show idea or something you're trying to get done, if you want to speak, we'll make this last call. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to call it tonight. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Mario.
For the people who have a concept and they don't know how to put it together, the best thing to do is to come and volunteer for other shows.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see how everything comes together, and I'll give you a general idea.
Yeah, and for those watching at home, Mario was just saying the best way to get involved, just start volunteering on other people's shows. I encourage everyone to do that. That's why coming to these member meetings are great. You meet other people that are trying to do things. You learn a lot, see people both succeed and fail, in this space. So it's like, come check it out. We always are having shows that we produce in-house as well. If you're looking for things to do, we'll find ways. If you say, hey, Cameron, hey, Sam, hey, Eric, I really want to run a camera. I really want to learn more about the audio board. We'll find ways to plug you into shows that we're doing. I know at the end of the month, we've got the Dr. Gangrene 25th anniversary show that's coming up. We'll probably need some volunteers for that. If anybody wants to sign up, just let one of us know. Again, we encourage you all, check on your memberships. Let us know, we can tell you when your date is and make sure that you're on the email chain. I want to give everyone the date for our next member meeting, which is September 12th of 2024. We hope to see you all back. And encourage all of your fellow members that make shows with you to come out to these meetings and get involved and have these conversations. It really does help us give feedback and kind of see, where we can help you win. So we look forward to seeing all the great television that you're going to make. And until next time, I'm Cameron McCaslin. Good night.